Ethiopia just broke ground on a $12.5 billion airport project, not an expansion, an entirely new hub built from scratch, 40 kilometers outside Addis Ababa. It's designed to handle up to 110 million passengers a year when fully built, roughly 4 times the capacity of the current airport. And when you look at the numbers, this isn't just ambitious, it's a calculated strategic play. In this video, I'll break down the engineering and urban constraints that make meaningful expansion unrealistic, show you Ethiopia's strategy to compete with Middle Eastern mega-hubs for connecting traffic between Africa, Europe and Asia, and analyse whether the economics actually work, or if this becomes a $12.5 billion white elephant. On the surface, expanding Addis Ababa Bole International Airport sounds like the obvious solution. After all, it already handles most of Ethiopia's air traffic, but that's exactly the problem. Bole currently handles around 25 million passengers a year, depending on traffic conditions, and Ethiopian officials have openly admitted it will hit its absolute limit within 2 to 3 years. Even with upgrades, there is simply no more room to grow in a meaningful way. Bole is surrounded by the city. Runways cannot easily be added. Traffic congestion around the airport is already intense. At some point, growth stops, and Ethiopian Airlines is growing too fast to accept that. There's another constraint that rarely gets discussed but quietly shapes everything that follows. It's the altitude. Addis Ababa sits more than 2,300 meters above sea level. At that height, the air is thinner. Thin air reduces engine and lift performance, especially during long-haul departures. That means weight restrictions, higher fuel use, and less efficiency. For a global airline trying to compete with Dubai, Doha, and Istanbul, this is a serious disadvantage. Bishoftu solves all of this. At 1,920 meters elevation, it sits nearly 450 meters lower than Addis Ababa, and in aviation, that difference is massive. The denser air eliminates payload penalties, improves fuel efficiency, and extends operational range. Combined with space for 4 parallel runways and a planned 25-minute rail connection to the capital, Bishoftu offers all of Bole's advantages with none of its physical limits. What's being built near Bishoftu is not just another airport terminal with a few extra gates. It is a full-scale aviation megaproject designed from the ground up to become the largest airport in Africa and one of the most ambitious hubs anywhere in the world. That 110 million passenger target I mentioned earlier is what places this project in the same league as the world's busiest hubs. But to understand how they'll actually manage that volume, you have to look at the layout. The airport is being built in phases. Phase 1, scheduled to open around 2030, will already be massive. It includes a 660,000 square metre terminal, 2 parallel runways, and capacity for about 60 million passengers annually. That means even the first version of Bishoftu would place it among the busiest airports on Earth. Later phases will expand the airport to 4 runways, with aircraft parking space for around 270 planes at the same time. The design is being led by Zaha Hadid Architects, and the layout is not just about looks. The terminal is organised around a long central spine, inspired by the Great Rift Valley, which runs across East Africa. This spine is the backbone of the airport. From it, multiple piers branch out, allowing passengers to move quickly between flights. This design choice matters because Bishoftu is being built as a transfer-heavy hub. Officials and architects expect a very large share of passengers to be travellers simply passing through Ethiopia on the way to somewhere else. This number could reach as high as 80%. That means short connection times are critical. The central spine layout reduces transfer distance and keeps passengers inside secure areas without unnecessary exits and rechecks. Each pier will look and feel different. The interior design uses unique colours, materials and patterns to reflect Ethiopia's diverse regions. This will help passengers intuitively understand where they are inside the terminal, making navigation easier while also giving the airport a strong national identity. Comfort is another major focus here. Because many passengers will have long layovers, plans include airside hotels, lounges and landscaped outdoor spaces, uncommon amenities for a hub this size that signal how seriously Ethiopia is taking the transfer passenger experience. Sustainability is built directly into the design, not added later. The terminal is targeting LEED Gold certification, which is one of the highest international green building standards. Natural ventilation will reduce the need for heavy air conditioning. Deep roof overhangs and solar shading will limit heat gain. Photovoltaic panels will help generate power on site. Rainwater will be collected and guided into bioswales and newly created wetlands, helping manage flooding while supporting local ecosystems. Construction methods also matter. The airport will use a modular structure made from concrete and steel, much of it manufactured or sourced locally in the Bishoftu region. This reduces costs, speeds up construction, and supports Ethiopian industries at the same time. It also means the airport can be expanded more easily in the future without tearing everything apart. The defining feature of this project, however, is the shift from a simple transit point to an aerotropolis. Surrounding the runways and terminal will be cargo hubs, logistics parks, aircraft maintenance and repair facilities, hotels, retail zones and industrial areas. This turns the airport into an economic engine that operates 24/7. In short, Bishoftu is being built as a future-proof aviation ecosystem, bigger than Bole, smarter than a simple expansion, and designed to place Ethiopia at the centre of global air travel. The project officially broke ground on January 10, 2026, and construction is already moving beyond paperwork. Ethiopian Airlines has allocated over $600 million just for earthworks, which are expected to take about a year. Main contractors are scheduled to begin major construction soon after. The goal is to open Phase 1 by 2030. The total cost is estimated at $12.5 billion. Early projections were lower, but as the full scope became clear, the price increased. Cost escalation is standard for projects of this scale. Ethiopian Airlines will fund about 30% of the project itself. The rest will come from international lenders. The African Development Bank is heavily involved, and lenders from the Middle East, Europe, China, and the United States have all shown strong interest, which signals that international lenders view this as a strategic continental asset, not just a national project. Connectivity is also being built into the timeline. A high-speed rail link is planned to connect Bishoftu to Addis Ababa in about 25 minutes, and even link back to Bole Airport. That keeps the new hub connected while easing pressure on the capital. Still, the risks are there. Costs can rise, timelines can slip, global travel can slow. Ethiopia is betting that demand will continue to grow and that it can deliver one of the most complex infrastructure projects on the continent. So why take that risk? The answer lies in what this airport could do for the economy. This expansion directly feeds the ambitions of Ethiopian Airlines, which is Africa's largest airline by network size. The carrier serves more than 140 international destinations and continues adding long-haul aircraft to its fleet. Without a larger hub, that growth stalls. Bishoftu removes the physical ceiling that Bole cannot break. Building on that cargo infrastructure I mentioned earlier, the economics here go beyond just moving boxes. By centralizing flowers, pharmaceuticals, and industrial exports into a dedicated gateway, Ethiopia is attempting to become the logistics toll booth for the entire continent. The surrounding airport city multiplies this impact. Hotels, warehouses, retail zones, industrial parks, and maintenance facilities are expected to create tens of thousands of direct and indirect jobs. But the risks are serious here. Roughly 70% of the project costs are being financed by international lenders. If passenger growth slows, debt pressure rises. There are also other risks hiding beneath the surface. The capacity is enormous, even by global standards. Filling it consistently will take years. The airport also depends heavily on Ethiopian Airlines as its anchor carrier. This means the entire hub rises or falls with one airline's performance. On top of that, Bishoftu is betting on transfer passengers, which is a group known for switching hubs quickly if prices or connections change. Competition from established giants like Dubai and Doha is intense, and any delay in rail links, roads or cargo infrastructure could weaken the airport's advantage. It is clear this project leaves very little room for mistakes. Ethiopia is betting $12.5 billion and its economic future on a single gamble, that by building the largest airport in Africa, it can capture the connecting traffic that currently flows through Dubai and Doha and turn a landlocked nation into the aviation gateway of an entire continent. Personally, I think the vision is sound. The Gulf hubs proved that geography and legacy don't matter as much as infrastructure and ambition. But the execution window is narrow. Any delay in that rail link, any slowdown in African economic growth, any misstep in financing, And this transforms from a strategic masterstroke into a cautionary tale about overreach. So here's the question worth considering. In 2040, will we look back at Bishoftu as the moment Ethiopia leapfrogged into the future, or as the project that tried to build tomorrow's capacity with today's debt? If you're fascinated by these kinds of mega projects, the engineering challenges, the economic calculations, the geopolitical implications, Design Zip covers the most ambitious construction and infrastructure developments shaping our world. Subscribe to stay ahead of what's being built next.